It was so embarrassing because I was like, oh my god, did that like actually just happen? I definitely look insane right now, so we'll start off with our eyebrows so I actually look like some kind of like, you can see me in some way. I normally sit on the floor when I do my makeup because like that's just my most comfortable place. I guess some people might stand in front of their mirror in the bathroom or whatever. I hate that. I love it when like I can go to a friend's house and we've got like those like full door mirrors, like their cupboards are mirrors. I love that. I'm not rich enough to have that, unfortunately, but when I go to my friends and we get ready before like going out somewhere, that's what I love. So if you've got one of them, we are automatically besties. So it feels really weird to me to be sitting on a chair right now. I'm absolutely hating it. It's just not a vibe in the slightest. I personally love me some story time. So I kind of thought since I'm in lockdown, I could tell some tales from the past. Since I'm stuck inside, I thought you guys could sit with me and I could have someone to talk to because I was just feeling the vibe of like missing getting ready with my friends before we like go out somewhere and like telling stories to each other and just like having a bevy. I'm not having a bevy because it is like in the morning, so not gonna have a bevy right now. Maybe we can have a bevy another time. Maybe I could bring back the drunk makeup challenge thing or whatever, even though I know that's like so old, but you know what, there's never been a more perfect time to do it. I'm just gonna redo the look that everyone seemed to comment on and said it's like a look the other day, and when I say the other day I mean the other week because we were still allowed to see people at this point. I was just having a little chatty to my friend and we were talking about high school, and like we weren't in high school together, but we were just like talking about our different experiences in high school, just like some of the crazy stuff that we got up to. We got onto the topic of like, well, I got onto the topic of having like the friend who was like the friend's house you went to that like you could just like go there and say you were going there and just like get away with like whatever. Mother, please don't be watching this video. Hilarious that I say this because recently my mom was like, oh, I'm gonna start watching all your videos, like just make sure I see like what you're doing and stuff, because I like can't see her. So terrible time to be telling this story, and also terrible time for her to decide to start watching my videos. But anyway, that's just how the bloody cookie crumbles. I'm sure everyone had it. Everyone had that friend who like they could go to their house and you just get up to like mischief because generally their parents like didn't give a fuck, but your parents did. So you'd have to go to someone's house where you could like get away with things, and like your parents would think you're in the safety of that person's like parents' care or whatever. We all had it. I'm not the only one. Mother, when you watch this, look, it was just a part of growing up, and that's just a part of being a teenager, is that kind of thing happens. And I was talking to my friend and I was like, you know how you had that one friend who like you'd go to their house and you could like drink and go to parties and like go and meet up with boys and like whatever else. All of the things you shouldn't be doing, you were doing at this person's house. Well, not at this person's house, but you said you were at this person's house because you'd go to their house and their parents would just like not be there, or their parents like would not care and would let you do whatever. And I was like, oh, you know how good that was, like when you had that friend? She was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure like that was my house. She's like, I'm pretty sure that was my mom. She was just like, yeah, like, wow, I didn't really think about that, but I was that house. Like, that was my house. My friends would come over and we could just like do whatever the fuck we wanted. And I was like, oh, that's sick, but also not sick for you because your parent wasn't around, or your parent like wasn't around enough to care. So she was like, oh fuck, that was my house. I had no idea. And anyway, my friend went on to tell me that she was like, yeah, like my mom was like either just like at the pub or like she just wasn't around. And I was like, oh, now that I think about it, the person's house who I went to who was that friend, her mum was always at the pub as well. Not even exaggerating when I say they lived next to the pub. Like the house for me was the house next to the pub, and the mum like was at the pub 24/7. Like that mum fucking loved the pub, and like whatever, all the power to you, love the pub all you damn want. But all I'm saying is I got away with some very bad things because I was at the parents' house who was never around. And I did the wrong thing by like saying, yeah, like her mum's really nice, like she looks after us and feeds us and blah, 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 when none of that was happening. Probably saw her mum like twice in the 100 million times that I went to this girl's house. And anyway, I got thinking about all the crazy times we had at, like, not even at her house, just like in the presence of going to her house. I remember one of the first times that I went to this girl's house, and I would have been literally 12 years old. So I was in high school though. Went to her house and she was having like her 13th birthday party. Before the party, you know, she was like talking it up like we were gonna have alcohol, it was gonna be wild, like we're gonna have boys there and like crazy. It was gonna be out of control. So like we're all pumped. Everyone who's going is just so excited. And it would have been like one of the first parties that I'd been to because like I was 12, you know, like I've been to parties that like didn't allow drinking. That was the kind of vibe that I had been exposed to. So anyway, so excited for this party. It's like weeks of lead up to like what is going to be the fucking party of the fucking year. And she's invited like all these people. And I'm so keen. I'm like, this is my big break. I'm finally gonna be able to drink and like be a real teenager and like rebel. Party day comes around and I was like set to stay there. The mum was there like when like we arrived. So when parents were like dropping people off so that she could put on a like front of like, you know, it's fine. I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna be like supervising them. But at the same time, like she was fucking gone to the pub within like probably half an hour, I reckon. So the party begins and like it's fucking so awkward because there's like 8 people there, mostly girls. There was like a few boys and they're like grotty as boys. They're not the type of boys that you're like, oh yes, I'm so amped to be at a party with these people, but they're the only boys there. So like young girls, boys, that's so exciting. But then everything changed and some hot boys did come, which was amazing. We loved that. No one had been like drinking or anything yet because it was like the afternoon too. Like it was Saturday afternoon. Don't know why the party was on in an afternoon, but it started in the afternoon. Maybe because the mum was like, I'm gonna be gone as of 3 p.m. Get your friends here ASAP so that I can make a good impression on their parents before I head to the pub. That was probably what was happening. She leaves for the pub, I suppose. I don't remember seeing the mother ever again. And then we have access to the alcohol, I assume. Like, but I don't recall there being heaps. All I remember is like some of those little bottles of like alcohol that like have like one standard drink in them. Pointless. Why? We had a lot of those little ones, so I don't know where they came from. And then I'm pretty sure like leftovers from some other bottles of like, I don't know, vodka and like whatever the fuck else, like maybe rum or something. I assume the mum would drink rum. It makes sense to me. The mixes that we had were literally like Lift. So like I think Lift is everywhere in the world. Lift is like a lemon soda, and then also we had Pasito, which is like a passion fruit soda. So neither of these are something you would ever mix with any alcohol. Also, I watched a video on TikTok and it was like a contour of the nose, and apparently it was Nikki Tutorials actually, and apparently you just do the whole nose and then put your highlights on. So I'm gonna do that. I don't know what it's gonna look like, but let's just give it a whirl. This is very dark for me, but anyway. Oh, I look so sunburnt. So anyway, we had access to these and we were like just sitting on the floor. Like, I swear there wasn't even music playing. We're just like all sitting in a circle, like a bunch of like 12 and 13-year-olds thinking it's so sick because we're like drinking alcohol for like mostly the first time. And like it's so naughty because there's no parents around and we can do whatever we want. And what do? We choose to sit in a circle and just drink like from this bottle of Lift with vodka in it, and it was so gross, like it was so bad. Then the Lift and vodka ran out and then we had to move on to the disgusting passion fruit drink and vodka, and I fucking love Pasito, so like I'm so happy it didn't ruin that because Pasito is life. And then like we were very bored because like there wasn't a lot happening, and it was just like a bunch of teenagers like looking at each other going, what do we do now? And we played Truth or Dare and it was boring as hell and no one was like into it. So then Truth or Dare progressed to becoming what's that fucking one? Spin the Bottle. That's the game. So we started playing spin the bottle. It definitely landed on another boy and I was like, oh, I can't kiss a boy, what is this? The girls wouldn't kiss the girls, but then also the girls wouldn't kiss the boys either. So yeah, the game just wasn't really going anywhere. And then like a bunch of people like left the room, and then I remember I was sitting in the room talking to like the beautiful boy, and we were just like talking and stuff and like flirting and like whatever else like teenagers do. Me, a 12-year-old, not even a teenager. This is the boy that like no one expected him to come to the party, but he showed, and it was like, oh my god, the girls were going fucking wild. But yeah, he was a beautiful man. And anyway, he was in the room and I was like, oh my god, I'm in the room alone with the beautiful man, like, oh my god. And he like went and like, I know this sounds super sleazy, but I promise it isn't as sleazy as it sounds. Like it was all like very innocent. For context, because we were sitting like in a circle, some of us were sitting on the bed. So like the bed was there and then the rest of the people were sitting out on the ground because we were sitting in her room. So I was sitting on the bed next to beautiful man this whole time. And he like, this is one of the funniest moments of my entire, like not even kidding, my entire life. This moment has gone down in history for the rest of my life. I have told so many people this story because it, oh my god, it tickles me so much. It is the funniest, like it's the funniest thing that's ever happened to me. It's the best. Anyway, so beautiful man and I sitting on the bed, everyone else has left the room. Beautiful man then like lays down on the bed and goes like this to like pull. I know it sounds so aggressive, I promise it wasn't. But like beautiful man grabs his arm and like, so like goes like this and goes like pulls me down to lay down next to him. So pulls me down, I'm like laying there stiff as a board, like, oh my god, what is going on? What is he gonna do? Like this is so terrifying. Like I've never even kissed someone before. Like I'd kissed a boy like a peck before, but I'd never like made out with someone or anything like that. And I was like, ah, like freaking out. It's so funny. So he then, so like we're laying there and we're like both just laying there like staring at, and it was like, it was on one of those fucking, those beds that were like, it was like a double bed on the bottom and a single bunk. So it was like a bunk bed. So like on a bunk bed, laying staring at this top of this like pissy bunk bed, like some stinky kid's been sleeping on. And we're just like laying there staring at it. So like he's pulling me down, we're just like arms down by our sides. And I was thinking, oh my god, this is the moment, like we're definitely gonna make out. It'll be like the first time I've made out with someone, like amazing, get it out of the way, it'll be done. You get the venom and 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 the venom. I'm gonna put on. Next thing I know, I'm like you know how it was when you were younger and like before you were about to like kiss someone for the first time, like it was fucking like I was about to have a heart attack every time that happened. I was so nervous every time. I don't even know why, it just freaked me the hell out so much. Now I'm just like, get in here. But like back then I was terrified. So scared. We're just laying there and then next thing I hear this, like a big smack bang down onto my chest, my fucking bare chest. And he just goes, so this is the reenactment. Is that your boob? And because it and it still kills me to this day. Just the big fucking smack bang on, like my chest still sounds the same today because I still haven't grown boobs. I literally had 0 boobies and he was like trying to have a feel of my boobs and there was just nothing there and he just goes, is that your boob? I was just like, I don't even know what I said, like I can't remember. I think I just blacked out because of embarrassment because I was like, oh my god, my big break, and like the hot boy in school has touched my boob and it is flat as fuck. And ever since then, that is that your boob has become like a very well-known, like everyone says it to me because I've told so many people this story and now like it's a thing for people to go, like literally grab my boob and go, is that your boob? And yeah, because nothing's changed. And it was so fucking embarrassing because I was like, oh my God, did that like actually just happen? I forget what I did, but I feel like I just wanted to run and bloody hide because I was like, oh my God, it is my boob. Like, how do I even navigate this situation? Like, beautiful boy touched the boob, nothing there, what do I do? I mean, it still goes on to this day. At this point, I don't give a fuck about it because like there's no boob and there's never gonna be any boob, and that is my boob. But it's just that age of like, you know, other girls have the titties and you have no titties, and you're like, what? Like, what am I to these people? Like, no boy will ever be interested in me. But like, I've obviously learnt over the years that like boys do not give a fuck if you got titties or not. Like, it literally doesn't matter. I was never actually affected by it though. Like, I genuinely think even then I thought it was pretty funny because I thought, oh, it's fine. Like, I will grow boobs, it's fine. And like, oh my God, the amount of stories I could tell you about like the trauma I have received from having no breasts is just so much. So many people just like have a go at you when you're like, you got no boobies. And it's hilarious because here I was thinking like at that age, I remember I would wear those, I guess they're like bandos, I don't know what you call them, but like they were these bonds, like crop top things that were just like it was just like a strip of like fucking material. I don't know, there was no underwire, there was nothing. It was just like a little thing that went over there, like around the whole thing. A bandeau, I think that's what they're called. But they were bonds specifically, and they had these little straps. But I thought wearing one of those, like, I was woman, hear me roar. I'm wearing a fucking bandeau, like, get it, sis. And the only time I realized that wearing one of those wasn't like, I wasn't a woman on fire, was when like these other like soz, but also not soz, fuck are you guys? Like, they were literally at the bottom of the fucking food chain. Like, no one wanted to be their friend. It was like after getting changed from like swimming or whatever, and like you all had to change in front of each other, and I was so uncomfortable to do that because I was literally like 12 years old, and a lot of them were a lot more feminine and mature than I was, and like you had to get changed in front of them. Fucking awkward as hell. I hated doing it. But I remember the yuck girls no one wanted to be friends with, literally said, why are you wearing like a Bonds bra? Like, that's not even a real bra. And I was like, fuck you dogs. Like, my titties are going to be perky and divine for the rest of time. Why would I have even been offended by that? Your t-shirt bra is fucking beige. But I was just like, ah, how dare you? I didn't even know how I responded. I was just like, shut up. Look, I didn't realize wearing the Bonds bras wasn't a fucking vibe. I thought that was like what everyone was wearing, because my sister, who was older than me, was wearing them still, like into older, like she was like in grade like 11 and wearing them, but that's just because we had no titties. Now I realize. So here I was this whole time thinking I am woman, hear me roar, and I am child, like 10-year-old boy body, hear me squeal. I fucking did not know the difference. Yeah. I had no idea. So that is the story of the first time a boy touched my boob. And like ever since then, I've just had so much trauma around the breast tissues. But no joke, I've told so many people that is that your boob story, because it's hilarious. Everything about it is actually the funniest thing ever. So like genuinely, I thank that boy for the rest of eternity for creating the funniest, like, and most long-standing joke I have ever had. And like, I will never see this person again. He's not even a like part of the joke. Everyone else in my life has just like made it a hilarious joke. Like, no one else knows who this person is. I just tell the story and it's now like a consistent in my life. But all I want to say out there is like, if you have no boobs, it is not a problem. Like, no one will actually care. All throughout high school, I was so self-conscious of my titties, and I would literally like buy underwire bras even though I had nothing to, like there was no need for it, and like they would dig into me and hurt me for no reason because I wanted it to appear like I had titties. But now I'm just like, I love rocking the no titty like life. You can fit into so many things. You can wear such like tiny little tops and you never have to wear a bra. It's like the greatest time of your life, honestly. Like, genuinely, if you're in high school and you're worried about that in any way, do not fucking be worried, because like it literally doesn't matter and no one cares. And as you get older, no one cares, and no one cares in high school, and no one cares, and no one cares. No titties is just as attractive as titties, so you truly do not have to be concerned. If someone's gonna love you, they're gonna love you no matter what the titties look like. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a like down below and let me know if there's any other stories you would like me to tell you. I have so many and I would actually love to tell some more stories. I will see you guys on the weekend with another piercing video. Okay, bye.